Oh, it's already recording.
Hello. We're the number 2 podcast in the galaxy.
Welcome.
We're back.
We're back.
How long has it been? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to know. Don't check the calendar. Don't keep tabs on us. We post when we post.
Yeah, we do what we want, when we want it, how we want it. When me and Anna. Because it's hard because we got to keep up with my schedule and we got to keep up with Anna's schedule and then we got to collide that.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of background work you guys don't see, but welcome to Virgo season. Welcome to Virgo season.
Do you want to read the Astro Babes so people kind of get what we mean about like when we talk about Virgo season? Because it's clear in our head, but we're not talking about like the people. We're talking about the characteristics that is held with Virgo people. This is what we're talking about. We mean Virgo vibes, this, that. It's characteristics that are associated with that astrology sign.
Yeah, so, and that element, all of that jazz. It's like it's season. There's other planets. There's like a lot going on. But exactly what Gabby said. It's just us attributing a certain time period or a certain vibe or a certain thing to a certain sign.
Exactly. And Virgo is the grounding sign, and we thought that would be a great way. It's an earth sign, but that's what I mean by grounding, and that's a great way to start up season 2, because we started season 1 with Taurus season, which was the other earth sign, the other grounding sign. So yeah, it's coming full circle.
Full circle. Keep on going with all of these cycles, riding out those waves, those chaotic waves of the other mutable and fixed signs that are out there. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, so happy Virgo season. Welcome to season 2 of Stream Our Consciousness. Now recording on much better audio for you guys, so you don't have to listen to the lawnmowers in the back of the parks that we randomly filmed in throughout this time. Like some of that footage
with my Bluetooth headphones.
Some of that footage didn't even make it in because like it's just like the audio was so bad, or it's just like we had so much other stuff. So we are so glad to be starting season 2 off on a grounding and fresh audio, crisp, clear start.
Mm-hmm. Virgo approved.
Is this Virgo approved? All those
let us know.
All those people with Virgo placements, please drop us a comment. Let us know. But I'm gonna read off of you Astro Beebs, which is at Astro Beebs on Twitter. We'll link them down below. But astrology Twitter is some of my favorite Twitter. This is just a little side note, but it's a great community. So here we have them tweeting about Virgo season. So they described Virgo season as like welcome to the season of like words, planning, building a system that works for you, communicating adaptively, making hard work look easy, multitasking like a legend, wonderful connections and ideas. And that's what this season's about. You know what I mean? And Virgos have that kind of like obsessive energy where you can just execute. You know what I mean? They'll think things through, and they usually think things through pretty right. As much as like they can be stubborn or whatnot, another Virgo could be. They're usually on point because they're very thorough. They know what they're doing. They're executing. So cheers to executing this month, this season. We're transitioning it to now. But that is a little gist of Virgo season.
Yes, it is. And we're going to take this episode to devote it to love. We just want you to know a little bit more about ourselves and how we love, how we receive love, what our vibes are, because we realized we recorded an episode talking about this and we were kind of dancing around the root to it. Exactly. You guys don't know us like that. You know, some people are our friends watching. Thanks for supporting us. Some people are our secret fans. I would like to thank all you 10 subscribers.
You 20 monthly listeners.
200 followers on Insta.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, at SOC Pod and subscribe. Stream Our Consciousness. But yeah, I think it would be fair if we talk about being open with people and we have these people that preach that, then I guess on our platform, we have to be open with you. And we do have to set boundaries. We're not going to tell you names. We're not going to tell you all our situations of what love was going on. Yeah. But scenarios where we grew from and we learned from that we think you could, it's helpful maybe in your life.
Yeah. And like philosophizing about love and like what love means, the big broad thing. But I think it's time for us to share with you how we let love in, how we see love, because love is needed for you to kind of get through life. So that's why we wanted to do this. Season 2, we wanted to start off with love because
And
that's all.
honesty.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Stick along for the ride. Take a trip as we discuss love and what love means to us.
So, part 1. We're going to enter part 1 right now. All right, I guess we'll tell you what our sexuality or our relationship status is, all right? If you really are asking, like, stop digging at me, chill out.
Stop pressing me. Nobody can press me but the press. Travis Scott. That's my favorite lyric by him.
Say it one more time.
Nobody can press me but the press. And
even
so
the press, so like, no, don't even.
Yeah,
that's why
even
I would
that,
never want to be
even that.
famous. Like, honestly, that's why I would never want to be famous. Like, when I'm famous, I already, like, in my head, I put scenarios, and like, when I'm on TV, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm a human like you. Stop idolizing me. Would you want all your dirty laundry out there? No. Why would you want to know when I pee and who I talk to and who I text? Just chill.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, you're so right about that. Yeah. But yeah.
So, but you know what? I feel like we're kind of putting ourselves on the platform. We're like, we're gonna tell you anyway, even though no one's asking. Me and Anna are very similar in this sense.
Yeah,
but,
we really are. Yeah,
we do have this well.
Yeah, we do have. Me and Gabby have very different like lifestyles, perceptions. We're both at our own separate journeys in love. So our like sexuality, our personalities, all of that shifts over time, and we've kind of figured it out throughout our lifetimes and our experiences. And so when people ask us like, oh, what's your relationship status, like that even in itself is a complicated question. Like relationship is a complicated word. Like we both have like different romantic and sexual relationships with different people that vary in depth. But I'm officially single, and which means to me that I'm not in a monogamous relationship. So currently, like, I'm just experiencing whatever I want to experience and just doing to me. But my approach to relationships, romantic, friendship, and friendships are always a part of it, but romantic and sexual, it's usually I come forward with it like in a very polyamorous way. Why does that sound weird when I say it? Polyamorous way? But I have been in a long-term relationship and a monogamous one, and I'm not entirely closed off to that either. So I guess it depends on the person, and it always depends on the person. But that's kind of the least complicated way I can explain all of these like kind of different relationships that we currently have. But we're single, we're not in monogamous relationships. And in terms of sexuality, like I personally consider myself a mix of like sapiosexual and demisexual. And sapiosexual is like someone who's attracted to another person's intellect, and demisexual is a person who's attracted to another person's personality. So I'm not necessarily 50-50, nor am I like one more than the other, but like sometimes I'm usually like 60% demi, like 40% sapiosexual. Like it's funny when I hear it out loud, but I sound like a fucking weirdo. But yeah, it only is. It changes with that. It changes with each person. It can be like 60-40, 70-30. It depends. Like I just need to be attracted to someone's mind and personality, and that in their essence, their whole vibe. And so if we click, we click, and that relationship develops into whatever that relationship is.
Yeah, I totally agree. Being attracted to someone's vibe and personality, but then I realize, wow, it's not like there's one type, one vibe and personality that I'm attracted to. I've noticed by being polyamorous, and why this works so much for my type of personality and my lifestyle, is that understanding that people fit in a different aspect and function of my life. So It's like that person that I want to like talk to with my emotions to and like be a nerd with maybe is not the person that's railing me,
Yeah, it's definitely people serve different purposes. Reminds me of this song by Roy Ayers. It's like one of my favorite songs. It's called I Am Your Mind Part 2. His lyrics go, he goes, we will never be one, for I'll part from you and you will part from me, you finding another mind and I another soul. We will travel on, and by the way, I need more than sex to nourish my equilibrium, but I do need sex. I also need sun, trees, stars, creativity, and love, but you saturate my soul with too much of one and not of the other. Therefore, I cry.
Like, what? That's so
Yeah,
amazing. That's
it's so amazing.
exactly.
Hey, it's exactly what you were saying. You're like, people saturate certain things of your life and you just gotta make some space for them, you know?
Yeah, and like one person can't encapsulate everything I need. Like, I want like a bad voice sometimes, I don't want a good voice sometimes. I don't want someone to be trying to be all these people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to force anyone to be who they're not. I'm gonna go to the people when I hang out. When I hang out with certain people, that's the reason why. You know, you pick certain times, but then you realize, you gotta reflect. Where am I giving most of my attention to? I think I'm polyamorous, and I really do, and I'm jumping around and doing whatever I feel like it, but then you know in your heart what one person you're giving most of your attention to and what you're devoting yourself to.
Exactly. Yeah. I totally agree with Gabby. We both like operate very similarly, and again, we're at different journeys in our lives, but a lot of the things like overlap in terms of how we approach love. You know what I mean? It's like that's kind of like that's what sexuality is like, what do you like, what do you seek, what do you approach, what do you like to approach you, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like that's kind of the way we vibe through. And again, it's kind of complex, but you know, humans are complex and love is complex. So but I wanted to ask you kind of this philosophical question, but it doesn't have to be that big. It can be pretty simple. Like, what is love? What is love for you, Gabby?
So there's so many different types of love, and I think me and Anna are mostly talking about the like emotional, sensual, intimate love that you have with partners. But like when I think of love, I'm like, okay, I can't forget like parental and like
Mm-hmm.
monotheistic love and like monotheism. Am I talking about God? I'm sorry, that's not even monotheistic. I don't even monotheism is like believing like one God.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I guess you love that one guy.
Yeah, it's like worshiping that one person and thinking they can like just have all the love in the world. Literally
Yeah.
though, that's what I was like.
Whoa.
Why am I like giving all of this one love to one person? That actually freaks me out because I have this theory like you just carry their emotions in their pocket, right? And then you just are just chilling carrying their emotions in their pocket. And honestly, that's why like me and my ex-boyfriend broke up. It's like you don't want to just be like taking someone's love from their heart and just walking around with it, and then the day you forget to wear pants with pockets, they're not even in your mind. And that was my problem. Like I forgot to wear a lot of pants with pockets and I would just be doing my own thing and then realize, oh
Yeah.
shoot, like I didn't realize doing my own thing is actually taking love from them, you know?
Yeah, that is an astounding way to explain it.
So that's why like monogamy is actually scary to me. Like I don't like
Yeah.
it's actually like scary because we're really letting people play with our heart and our vulnerability of emotions, and we think it's like fairy tales and stuff. But I'm like me maybe being a Capricorn and Venus, I'm like, do you know what you mean when you say this? That's what
Yep.
I'm just like trying like, and I feel like that's being almost
Yep.
cold-hearted because I don't take what they say seriously when they're saying, oh, I want like to move in, I want to do this, I want to do that, like I want this forever. I'm like, bro, like, no, you know what I mean? No, like,
Yeah, I
we're
think
here right now. We're in college.
yeah.
We're in this. You don't know
Yeah.
what forever is. You don't know what the future is. You can't make me a promise just because I want to feel good and that's what I want to hear.
Exactly. That is a big thing, Gabby. Wow, you're like, yeah, you're explaining this so perfectly. You're right. It's like you don't know the future, so why be hung up on it? So why not live in the now? And I think the difference between like wanting to desire a future with someone and then building up expectations. I think that's a big difference. And Gabby actually led me to that kind of like she kind of led me there. She was like, yo, you can't just put expectations on someone of like love, of this, of that. If you know what I mean, you don't know what the future holds. And so I think that's a big importance. It's like what do you want, like what do you love, what do you want from love, but like what is realistic, I guess, or like what's not explaining, but like
realistic,
you're right,
right?
you're the
Why,
expectations, the
why are we
expectations.
pretending we live in a fantasy world where love lasts
Yeah,
forever? We all know like
yeah,
statistics is real, and like that being cold-hearted, or those
no,
people in love are just stuck. You know what I mean? You're like, love is, we're just stuck, and people want to be stuck, and that's cool. If you want, it's like a drug. It's like you want to be stuck on that. That's cool, and I respect that because I go there sometimes, and like I really think my mindset changes when I'm there, but I actually think that's more immature. Like I like myself better when I'm not in a relationship, because then I'm like blinded by all these concepts that like I start to gain intelligence when I'm not in a relationship, and I'm like, oh my god, I know what love is. And then when I'm in it, I'm like, oh my god, like I was wrong. Like why don't I give this a chance? Like I'm like romanticizing it. I'm like, okay, like
yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
I want to know your vibe. What do you feel like? What did you build up to this moment now with love, Anna?
Okay, well, this journey of love has been like pretty intense for at least the past like 3 years. So like this has been a long time of a lot of experiences like accumulating and leading up to this to be like, oh shit, what is love to me? A few nights ago, like not a few nights ago, this was like a bit ago, I was just like, I was okay, so I was like overthinking the fuck out of love, and it was just, when you overthink and like you're overthinking in just fucking circles, and it was just so overwhelming that I wasn't getting anywhere, and I was like, what the fuck, I hate love, I hate this shit, like why am I thinking about it? In the psychology world, those negative thoughts are called ants. So I was laying in bed and I was like, had so many ants fucking crawling through my mind, and I texted Gabby, and I was just so fed up. I was just so fed up with love. But let me give you some context. I was seeing someone for like that was on and off for 2 years, and I was always clear at the beginning to express my desire not to be in a relationship, and I thought he accepted that. But towards the end, he was asking more for me, and he wanted a relationship. And at that point, which was exactly a year ago, like it's kind of like insane to think about it now, like wasn't able to give him what he wanted for like many personal reasons. So like that love ended up being lost. So it was just like, I don't know, it's hard not to think about like all this stuff, like all this like love that was offered, and like what could have happened, what didn't happen, like, you know what I mean? Like when love is offered at your door, it's like different. It's like, whoa, what is this? Like same goes for Gabby. It's like, do you know what you're asking me? Like, do you know what you want? Like, you don't know what you want. Like, you think you want this thing from me, but it's not what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you're idealizing love, or you're putting me on a pedestal, and it's not what this is. But this is like, the point of this is like, I kind of expressing like I didn't commit to him like in a monogamous relationship, nor did I put on a label of our long-term relationship. Like I still did love him, and like there's still parts of me that will always like miss and love that. And so it was like late at night overthinking this stuff out. And I'm going to read you the text message I sent to Gabby. I was like, hey, do you ever have such an intense pain being away from someone, and you're like, feeling them will be the only thing that can fill the void? Or is that void subjective and we can change it and be able to not miss people that aren't ours? And then Gabby was
that aren't ours, like Anna. You see, that's what love makes you do. Like you think you have like you're like, I want to be the only person they think about. Like it's like, that's not true. Sorry, keep on going.
No, yeah, I know that's not true. Yeah, like he's full. Like after, like of course, like after I was like, no, I can't be in a relationship with you, and we stopped seeing each other. Like he got into a full blown relationship. So it's like. It was just me saying like, oh, this person is not mine, nor will ever be.
And even just realizing, giving yourself the reality of it.
Yeah, I was giving myself the reality. I was like, holy shit, like, because I desired a friendship from this person, but like it wasn't mutual. Like I don't know what else is going on in their lives that they just couldn't be my friend regardless. So it was like super sad. I was like, damn, this person's like not mine at all. He once was mine, wanted to be more than just like whatever, and now this person's gone, and this person doesn't even want to be a friend. And I was like, fuck, like this sucks. Like I miss this person, like I loved this person. Like did they not understand that, like just because I wasn't with them? But like I regret, there's just like overthinking this shit. And I was like, love fucking makes you overthink. Like anyone here that sits and is like super cold-hearted and is like, nah, I don't overthink about love, like, nah, like it's intense. It's an intense and complex feeling. It's just like certain people, like, because it's an intense and complex feeling, they're just like, I'm not about it. And like, they don't, and I get it, but like there's something still so beautiful about being like mushy and love. And that's what I'm saying. I was like, wait a minute, I like that, but like why, like, but that's not reality either. But like, why can't it be both? And
That's what I try to do.
Yeah. So
we finished the text.
Okay, so the text was, you were like, well, this is what Gabby said after that intense text message I sprung on her. She was like, well, nah, you actually miss him, you know, a person you can't fill the void through anyone else. And you were like, fixed through distractions. But it's like it's like your favorite food at a particular place. You can get pizza anywhere, but you know the OG. And you may have a lot of favorites, and maybe you can never fill the void of the particular flavor. And I was just like, yeah, when I was like, absolutely, like, you know what I mean? Like, the point of that was like, she's like, I was like, love is pizza. Like, so when she said pizza, it really clicked to me. It really just like, it like all came crashing down, and I was like, oh yeah, it's pizza. It's just like, love is pizza. It came from the analogy of where love is pizza is. It came from me, like Gabby trying to simplify love, you know, because sometimes you do have to simplify something that's so grand and overwhelming and intense and blah 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 blah, and all of these like beautiful films and music and stuff, because love inspires, you know what I mean? As like artist Gabby, like, doesn't love inspire you? Like,
but you know, you're in the context of it, like, I just going through a breakup, so that's what I'm gonna say.
So we're like in different fucking
if you hit me up a
positions.
year ago when I was living with my boyfriend in the summer chilling on Love Island, then I would say something else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, I guess like I've reached that level of love because I was like, all right, love is this thing and love is good, but like love is just fucking pizza. Like, simplify it like that. Like, think of it like that. Like, love is just, you can fill the void in certain places. You'll always have your favorites. You'll always go back to a certain place, but you'll always enjoy it. Like, and you'll always sometimes want it, unless, I don't know, those people who don't like pizza, like, fuck you.
Lactose intolerant.
Well, not even. I know fucking, that's not a fucking excuse. Like, I know people who are lactose intolerant will have vegan pizza. Will
like
have
gluten-free.
Yeah, they'll fucking do that. So at least I know that their heart, they have love. You know what I mean? They're like, I will eat this like thing called pizza. But people really don't fucking like it. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely psychotic.
Yeah, like,
just kidding.
I don't know if I can eat and kiss you because we don't have the same taste buds. Like, like, I guess our taste buds will collide, will match.
You won't like my taste buds because I just ate pizza an hour ago.
Like, a pizza in my like consistent diet. So I don't know.
Yeah, pizza's such a good part of the diet.
Love is pizza. You go to all these different places for your pizza. You know, I'm gonna go anywhere, to any pizza store. I'll try it all around. I don't care, you know? But you have that loyal slice. First of all, you have a slice of flavor that you like. So even if there's like a flavor that someone that's like, oh my God, they remind me of this person, or like they have the same signs or some shit, you see a similarity in different partners. That's a similar flavor, but it's not going to be the same. That's where you can go wrong and like compare people.
Yeah.
Because like,
good point.
Like, I don't know, astrology sometimes got me going thinking extra stupid shit. Honestly, like extra shit. I'm like, this Cancer moon is gonna, and then like all this shit. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're just different people living in different parts of the earth and they don't even connect, okay? Some days I'm like, all right, chill, Gabby. Like, yeah, because someone came up to me, like, it was like, hey, I gotta like discuss boundaries. Like, you can't be talking about birth charts and this shit. I'm like, okay, fine. like people are starting to find it annoying, and like, because like the people that love it can talk about it all the time and like relate everything to it, but then people that hate it are like, bro, like, you're not even talking about anything. And that's why it's like Virgo season. We know what we mean when we say Virgo season, but it sounds like nothing to other people. It's like, I don't know. Like, people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, next topic, please. But like when it's like, you're a Virgo, when I'm like, wait, but you're a Virgo and you can do this, and they're like, oh, word? I want to talk about loyalty and being like having a loyal heart versus loyal action. So it's like, You know how I said you're gonna always know and give that attention to that one person that you go back to, right? That one slice, you're gonna always be thinking, maybe compare it. Oh, but that wasn't as good as that slice. You know what I mean? Oh, that's shit. That wasn't as good as my original. You know, because then you're
Yeah.
not, you know. But action, like I could do things and I could try other slices. That doesn't mean anything about who I love the most. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't want people to get it twisted. Like, I know cheating is such a bad thing, all this stuff, but like, also you shouldn't be like hated or like, I don't know,
Yeah.
punish if you're like, I just
Yeah.
had to try other things. Like, that's my life. I'm like, you can't tell me to go to a place and not try any of the pizza in the city because you want me to be loyal to the pizza in New York. Of course I want to try Chicago deep dish. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I've ever heard that
I'm going
sentence.
so hard. Like,
That sentence is amazing. You don't think I'm gonna go to Chicago and try deep dish? Yeah, you're so right. You're so
I'm
right.
like, come on.
I get it. Yeah, and you're
Doesn't
right. And
mean
like,
I hate the grandma slice at my local town any
yeah,
less. Like, that's why it's
yeah,
like, don't it's compartmentalize all the relationships. That's what like
yeah.
the other people might not get. You know, like, you love all your bitches like the same. You know.
Yeah, because you know it's not true. You like don't love your bitches all the same, but like, or you don't love all your pizza the same. But like, you know your heart is where it's rooted there. You're like, yo, that's my heart. That's what that's my thing. Yeah, but I'm gonna go try the Chicago pizza, and it's
Yeah,
probably
but
not
if you're
gonna
in
be as good.
Chicago,
It'll never be
thinking
like
about
you. But
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it gets into an issue where it's like, yeah, no, not an issue. Yeah, there's of course other complexities of this, but like I liked your concept on punishment. That was very very interesting because if like you're right, you shouldn't be punished or outcasted because then you would outcast and punish over 50% of the population. You know what I mean? Like literally, that's what is so interesting when you said that because it's like, what are the divorce rates? You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody like went through that, but it's yeah, I agree. Like it's like that doesn't mean you don't love whatever less. I don't know, like it depends.
Yeah,
Like
you
the
can't be in
boundaries.
Chicago thinking about New York pizza the whole time. You're not going to enjoy yourself. You're not even going to take, you know what I mean? That's going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
mess you
yeah,
up.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
to
yeah.
think about your present moment and what's going to help you more. That relationship with Chicago is the deepest you're going to get, and it doesn't have anything to do with New York. New York's not even here. You can't even get to New York. You know what I mean? Like, are
That's
you going to bring
interesting.
frozen New York pizza to Chicago? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, that's
and
just
it's
like
even
ruining
like,
it.
and it's like even trying out other things. It's like not even pizza to pizza. Like it becomes like pizza to like the Chicagoan food of the day. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know, or like the whatever the fuck people in Chicago go eat. Like, please let me know. I don't really know
Yeah,
what you
Lava
guys
Rose,
eat.
let me know.
I agree with your compartmentalizing, and I think it's the most important thing to like tell the New York pizza that you're gonna go eat some Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
Or if you eat some Chicago pizza, you tell the New York pizza, be like, yo, sorry, grandma, I love your pizza, but like I ate some Chicago pizza last weekend.
I
But like
got deep dished.
I got deep there. Yeah, so it's like it doesn't mean I love you. That doesn't mean I'm not here. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna eat your slice for the rest of my life, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
I'm gonna eat your slice, don't worry.
okay, yeah, it's the compartmentalizing and then the not punishing each other. But like the key part is like honesty in the beginning and honesty at the end. You know what I mean? It's like this needs to be discussed like with a person who is also polyamorous or also monogamous. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck like you guys need to talk about, you need to talk about. I don't know how to explain that, but you're right, Gabby. I like the way you compartmentalized it and even expanded pizza to be
Yeah.
that.
Because, like, you know, if you talk about it and they're not down, then maybe that's not that's gonna hurt more than love. You know, it's gonna hurt you guys more than the love will nurture you. So I think it's important to do it first before you guys know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think that's a perfect segue into like what really love like means for me. Like, you know, I kind of went into the pizza straight to the pizza analogy because that's currently what love means to me. But like, I kind of have like various different types of like I see love as this kind of like multi like moving like figure that has like so many different sides to it, and it's like you look at love through different sides of it, and like, you know, for example, like compartmentalizing mistakes or whatever, not mistakes but like actions or another human's actions or another involvement of another human, or like other things that happen in life that lead to like divorce or fallouts or whatever, like ending of love, like that can be compartmentalized so the love can still, the entity can still exist. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if that is the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, it's kind
but
of like protecting that like pure entity and not letting these other like factors that don't really matter enter it.
yeah, and it's also like, it's like you view like you see it, like you like when you said, you were like, oh, love can be mushy but it can be realistic. You're just turning over the entity, looking at it through different sides, you know, and you're like, all right, cool, like love is mushy, love is serious, love is pizza, love is grandma, love is my family, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like this entity, and I think that entity is like you, like your love, like you, who you are as a human, because I think at the root of every human, like at our souls, that it's love. Like, love is the center of it. So love for me is like literally the purest form of like just understanding and accepting. And it's like about loving another human for who they are, and most importantly showing that their love is important to your life in a way. Like, it's knowing like, I accept you for what you are, you accept me for what I am, and we understand each other, that we're different and that we're two different human beings, but at the end of the day, the love between us is important, and I allocate time to it. And like, you know, so it's like, by doing that, that love will be able to survive through the ups and downs, the fights, the mistakes, the misunderstandings, because if I love you, you love me, we can get through, like, it really is cheesy, but like, we can kind of get through anything, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like the simplest thing is like, me and Gabby like got into an argument, and Gabby's like, nah, like we can't see each other, and I was like, no, we can put that aside, because I trust you, you trust me, which is like our form of love. Like, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna keep going, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't end anything. It doesn't, like, our fights, like, I don't think will probably ever end anything, because of that. We express like the importance that we are to each other, you know what I mean? Like, there is stakes. Like, love does come with stakes, which is why it's hurt, which is why it hurts when it's lost. I hope that makes some fucking type of sense.
It is hurt when it's lost. And
exactly, because it was important to you. It was important to you. It was important to you this entire time, and you knew it. You just didn't explain that to them, or you didn't want to realize it into your own self. Like, the love that you give out, that energy you give out, is really, really important. So if you know how important someone else's love is to you, and you accept them for who they are, and the same goes back, then you can count on them at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You can move forward, you know their worth in your life, and you can really like kind of work through anything, whether it's a friendship, it's a family, it's a relationship. This is kind of where I kind of went into a few days ago. I was like, wait, love is like work. And it's like, because this life is pretty wild and there's like a lot of chaos, but without acceptance and without that like work to be like, yo, I accept you, you accept me, and I have to put up with your stuff wherever, like, your love will fade out quickly. You know what I mean? Because it's not built to withstand long term, because love is something you have to constantly nurture. Like, unconditional love is like pretty fucking intense. I don't know, maybe that is my form of unconditional love. I don't fucking know, but it's just being like, yo, love. And I think why I'm talking so much about accepting and understanding is because, like, what love for me also is, at the end of the day, like I said, it's the core of the human soul. Therefore, if it's the core of each individual human soul, then love is essentially at the core self-love, if that makes any type of sense. So it's like all this stuff that I said about understanding, accepting another person, putting in work in, that all starts like within, you know what I mean? And it begins there. And then from there, you can start analyzing the other love in your life and the other relationships, the other parties that are involved, where things get more complex, more wide, like distance, space, all that starts. But like, if you can't do that within yourself, like that's I think that's where I am right now. I think that's kind of where I am in this love life.
No, I definitely feel you. From this most recent breakup, I learned from the breakup before my most recent breakup, and the one before that was, I kind of let myself go. I kind of let myself go in love, and I didn't keep it. You know how you're talking about like keeping the root, and like you're giving the love, but you still want to keep the root of your own love.
Yeah.
I started I guess I was kind of letting it go too much and being a little naive with my love and not understanding what an equal transference of love looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because like once you're giving, that means like, okay, the other person's like filling that up, right? You know, because you're giving this person support, so they should be giving you whatever you're lacking in. But it wasn't working like that, and I felt really empty. So then after that breakup, it was like, wow, that's when I felt really empty, because all these things I was doing, I was like, oh my god, I wasn't even being recognized, and they were just taking it and then wearing pants with no pockets.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So then in my next, and I realized that was a really big problem because, 6 months later, I think almost a year later, like 7-10 months later, I had a dream that I lost my vagina, because I was really trying to move on and like see how to be intimate with other people and like other people. And I had a dream that I lost my vagina. I'm on my bed looking, when you're like looking at the cracks of your bed for your phone, but me, I'm like, where's my vagina? I was like, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And then I found it. I'm like, what do I do with it now that I have it in my hand? Like I found it, but I just didn't even know what to do. So then that's when I realized, I'm like, whoa, like I lost my intimacy. Even if I know where it is and it's right here, I don't even need my vagina. It's like the idea of the intimacy that I even just lost. And I gave that to the other person, and they didn't even give it back to me. So like it was actually lost in the other person.
Yeah.
So then I went back to the root, and then I started by just like making, like, I was like, you know what, like I put all the work into school and educating myself, and then I see the result back, and then I get smarter, you know what I mean? It's like school doesn't let me down. Like if I do all the like the things and the directions, then it's not gonna let me down. That's the one thing I have full control over in a relationship. And then I was like, that would nurture my soul, and just doing things I want to do, and then just like also just being intimate with yourself and just understanding.
Exactly. Yeah, it's self-love.
Yeah. And then that's why I was ready for the next relationship, and maybe I went into it cold-hearted and I knew not to love blindly, and it becomes difficult when explaining that to your partner, saying
really
like,
difficult. Yeah.
when maybe they've only had a couple relationships in their life and they're a little naive.
Yeah.
They don't understand. And I don't want to take that idea, you see this like young child, imagine like teaching a child full of imagination, and then it's like, and you already know like the hard truth, and you're like what do? Do you go, so what I did was I kind of went along with it. I kind of disobeyed all my polyamorous stuff, and I was like, you know what, let me try this thing again. If this person really thinks that this thing could work and we could be like in a fairy tale love, let me try. I try to get on their level, but then I realized it's not. Even with the coolest person in the world, or the nicest, or the most loyal, it's something like it's something that maybe it's something I don't want to work that hard at, and it's something I and maybe that's exactly me, and it's something you have to work hard at. Okay. And like and I think I rather be like enjoying the pleasure of it, not the negative aspects.
Yeah. And see, that's your essence of self-love. Like you accepted yourself, you know what I mean? You're like, I accept me and I accept that, and like you're doing that self-love, and it's the acceptance. So I think that it's just like you accept another person for who they are, and that not this thing that you want love to be. You know what I mean? It's just like,
it's just like not gonna last, but what we have in the moment, it feels good in the setting, but I can't say anything for when I'm in another setting.
Yeah. And there's exactly. Yeah, it's a really good way to put it. And like I think this is like kind of a mix of like your this again, more nonsense for people who are listening, like this is your like Capricorn Venus, like this is very much my Aquarius moon, to be like, like both of us have that side of ourselves that come out, and we're like, wait, what's realistic, you know what I mean? Like what is reality, what is logic? Like do you, like, you know what I mean, do you understand the weight of the weight that your words carry? You know what I mean? And then when you start saying those, you start throwing around those big words more and more often, like they will carry less and less. Do you know what I mean? That's why like I think like Gaby and I have been fed up by like being kind of like told the same things over and over and over again about life. I mean, not about life, like love, I guess. And then like being like, nah, that's not what it is. That's not,
like I don't agree, but maybe the people, that's why it's like, okay, then don't pick me, because I'm not gonna go along with this. I'm sorry, like pick someone else. I'll go along with your fairy tale love. Like that's what I feel bad. It's like then we don't want to change who we are for other people and their style of dating and their style
Exactly.
of
That's
love, you
exactly
know?
that is the exact reason, like, I brought up the person that I brought up earlier was because this person asked more of me and I was like, no. Like, I will not give you what you think you want from me. And like, because I'm already giving it to you now. I'm already giving you my love. You know what I mean? Like, I already love you. Like, I don't need this. I can't like be worried and have you in my back pocket when I'm not ready to have you in my back pocket.
Yeah.
I don't even have like I need to put myself in the back pocket first too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more. Yeah, yeah, and like, we all know this. We all, like, I don't think we talk about this enough with people. Just like, I guess it's not like marketable. I guess like everybody loves the marketing of love. You know what I mean? Love is so marketed. It's so like in our our society like likes to tell us like the children read the fairy tales, Gabby. You know what I mean? How do you not expect them to think about it? You know what I mean? You can be like, bro, like everything you're reading is not real. Like, they're gonna be like, what? Why are we reading it in the first place? Because,
Oh my
because
god.
it's like because like love, like I said, as artists, love is so fucking inspiring. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you can build universes through it. I don't fucking know what I'm saying, but yeah, it's hard, and I think it's good to come at love with a logical approach, but also like to accept that it's mushy and complicated and amazing and agonizing at the same time.
Yeah. Love is only a feeling.
Like a Charlie XCX quote was like, off her song Anthems from her latest historical album, How I'm Feeling Now. Like, she sings at the end of the song of the anthem, she goes, finally, like, when it's over, we might be even closer. And so I think that's like important kind of quote to like discuss, because it's like we all need love in our lives right now, and we got to love ourselves and love each other, but like, know how you're loving. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
know how you're
Damn.
loving so you can move forward in this world, because if you don't love yourself, it's going to be pretty torturous to continue. And you got to love. Like, love is love is needed for survival. Love is the center of our soul. So like, you need love for your individual survival, and you need love for like a collective survival as a human being. um don't stop
Yeah.
yourself from, and like, love is really scary and complex, and when it comes to you, like, this is also something I learned from the previous like relationship, is like, when love comes, like, you have to ask yourself like, okay, like, it's like, why not let it in? Like, why not experience it and like die? This is me being a Pisces Venus, but like, just let yourself be in love, because that's something I stopped myself for many years. I just stopped myself from like being in love. I was like, but I was in love in my own fucking world, but never in love with someone else. You know what I mean? It was either like they loved me or I loved them at a different point. Like, it's just like a lot of, I never let it in at the same time, and I always like, timing is not right. But it wasn't that. It was just me not letting love in, and me not like accept, like, being like, oh shit, this complex thing is being thrown at me. I need to come at it with understanding and acceptance, and it needs to be able to do the same for me. Does that make sense? I think that's
Yeah.
where I got to, and that's where I am in life, because I know without any form of love, like whether love from your parents, love from your family, like love from your friends, especially love from other individual humans sexually and romantically, like, you don't let that stuff in, like, life will not be as fulfilling as you think it'll be. And also, like, you should let it in, because like, you deserve it. Like, you know what I mean? Who doesn't deserve to be loved? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's kind of complicated, because you're like, oh wait, the way you love me is like not what you want, or like maybe doesn't align with my love. But like, you will find someone, like, you will, if you express that and they truly do love you, like, they will understand and accept. And it's just hard. It's really hard, because like, as time goes on, like, you're afraid of molding into something else, or you're afraid of like um you're afraid of like molding into someone else, and you're afraid of expectations. And I get that, but that doesn't mean like you can't enjoy love now. Like, love is there, love, like, enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, you love
And learn the
somebody, live in
lesson
the,
of it.
yeah, live it, like, you know what that quote is you texted me one time? You're like, you find something you love and let it kill you. Just like, love it. You know what I mean? Because it'll kill you one way or another. I don't know. Like, love is bound to be death in some type of way, because I don't know. That's kind of intense, but love is
Um,
intense. and it can be simplified, but also like end off on a kind of big, broad note, because you know how popular love is. You know how many movies, TV shows, everything, like love. You know, it's our world. It's our world.
And I really like that quote, Anna. Thanks for introducing it to me. Finally, when it's over, we might be even closer. Because at first it was like, no, like I mean, like we broke up, and no, I'm further, and I don't know what they're doing in their life and all this stuff. But then I'm like, Gabby, actually take it, to get out of your ego. Actually, we're close. Like, I think the reason why we broke up is because we love each other so much, and we understood that we can't be like sacrificing what we're doing in our separate locations to like catch up and do all that lovey-dovey stuff, when it's like we need to figure out our lives. You know, we're in a really weird part of our life, and actually it's more caring and loving to recognize that and say, well, I don't want to hold you back from being you. So then that's good. That's good love. That, you know, because at first I was just like egotistic, and I was like, no, I might feel further from them, but you know what? That means that they're doing their thing, you know,
and they're
so it'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay, because you're getting your love, and the other person's getting their love, and that's the most important thing.
And I just want to close off with some things that might sound blunt, it might sound heartless, or it might sound lovable. I don't know how you're going to interpret this, but you know, I'm polyamorous, so don't get love and intimate relationships twisted. I'm still giving love. You don't need to be their boyfriend or girlfriend to feel loved. Feel beyond that label. You know, don't think that label equals when you could feel love. My method now is to exert love and not limit myself to one person. Tell my partners my intentions, and I want to have the affection and attention like a girlfriend. But don't ever call me your girlfriend, and don't expect to be involved in my life to the extent where I'm sacrificing things for you. I have the emotions and love of a girlfriend, but not the devotion. I think devotion is something.
Yeah, because
I saw this candle. It's like young love, devotion, and delusion is the 2 ingredients.
Ooh,
devotion and delusion. Of course, you need to be delusional.
Yeah, you have to be devoted to the delusion for it to exist.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be devoted to the delusional for that delusion to continue to exist.
Yeah.
Because then the delusion will be broken down by life and other people, and then you're like, what? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, we only have that devotion to ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I was listening to the song by A Boogie, Somebody. I know that you need somebody. No one really got me like I got me. Like, you just, like, you know, you want somebody, but then you're like, wait, no one actually has you like you got you. So don't
nobody.
Lie and think someone, you know, someone who really care about you, but, like, they're gonna go back to their devotion to themselves comes first.
Self-love.
Hope you guys like and subscribe, and
keep loving. Send us love.